I didn't know if you noticed, I'm practicing my Bo-Katan, sit in the throne, and wait till someone gives me what I want. I think I'm gonna take her philosophy when it comes to data crunch. I'm just gonna look pretty in a chair and hope that CG eventually gives in to my whining and stops using data crunch. Is that a little too harsh on Bo? I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the whole Darksaber arc where she just kind of moped and complained until Mando's like, dude, just here, have the Darksaber. Anyways, we're talking about the Bo-Katan Mandalor kit reveal. I'm not sure if I was being a little mean to her. But I just want to say this. I think CG's being mean to her. I think they did her dirty. Releasing Darth Bane's kit reveal on the same day is absolutely dirty. Card in the top right hand corner if you didn't see the Darth Bane kit reveal. I get excited for characters, obviously the varying degrees, but my gosh, it was hard to get like excited for this after reading Darth Bane's kit reveal. So I'm just putting it out there, CG. I think you should have spread it out because definitely I think Bane is kind of overshadowing her at that point. That doesn't mean she's bad, but Bane, I was smiling, I was grinning, I was like, oh, this is exciting. I look at this and I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I think it could be beat Master Kenobi potentially, but it's just hard to get really excited about this character. Anyways, regarding this character, reminder, this is going to be an epic confrontation character. My speculation is it's going to maybe come out tomorrow, looking at Dr. Aphra, where she was added to the game on December 14th. That's when the update happened. And on the same day as the update, unlike marquee characters, we got to like wait another day. Usually the event drops the same day. So December 14th was a Wednesday last year. So again, complete speculation. My thought is I think tomorrow we're probably going to get Bo-Katan unlocked. So stay tuned for that. And remember, we were promised that the Bo-Katan team is supposed to go up the toe-to-toe with some Galactic Legends. And at least from the way it reads, I think this could be Master Kenobi. Again, cool, but it's really hard to shine when Bane is upstaging you here. Another complaint that I have, we were all expecting something to happen to Beskar Mando, a touch-up. Something that mattered, especially as we were told in advance that Beskar Mando should synergize with her. Unless we're missing, maybe there's going to be a touch-up thing they're going to surprise us with tomorrow. There's no touch-up. Of course, there's going to be light side Mandalorian synergy going on, but I'm a bit disappointed that Beskar Mando's not going to be able to use his damage immunity with the Mandalorians. Kind of a missed opportunity, if you ask me. So who knows, maybe they'll surprise us with something. I don't know what the other tags are, just as light side Mandalorians, no Scandroid tag. I don't know, this support, tank, attacker sounds to be more of an attacker type of kid here because she'll be doing massive damage with her, massive true damage with her abilities. And then you're going to call your light side Mandalorian allies to assist twice. So I think there's going to be a couple things going to be nice. Maybe old school Bo-Katan might be nice because she's got a lot of baked in unique ability healing capabilities here, because right now it's incredibly obvious the team is going to be Bo-Katan Mandalor. I guess Beskar Mando, IG-12 and Grogu, Paz Vizsla, the last slot's up in the air. I think armor could be great here, but I think we need to wait till Bane comes in to kind of free up armor from Sith Eternal potentially, or Bo-Katan with her unique abilities. I think it's going to be something in that department here. And we're going to get a new ability here, Ancestral Resolve, to strengthen your light side Mandalorian allies' defenses. Kind of reminds me of like the Conquest Mandalorians that we go up against here. And again, they kind of emphasize it here for maximum damage, mod Bo-Katan Mandalor to be slower than Beskar armor Mandalorian. But again, no touch-up. Again, at the minimum, we just wanted to be able to do damage immunity on Mandalorians. And then bringing Bo-Katan Mandalor against debuff heavy teams is the fastest way to gain Ancestral Resolve. Maybe. Here's my theory. I got a running theory. So if they take away Beskar Mando from the Fennec team, that takes away one of the best Lord Vader counters out there for Grand Arena potentially. But maybe this could also beat Lord Vader potentially. We gotta wait and see. On paper, it sounds like it could happen, but who knows? All right, let's get into the abilities here with that lovely introduction that we got going on there. I still can't stop thinking of my my comments on her in the beginning. Frontal Assault, basic ability. Deal physical and true damage to target enemy, which can't be evaded, and dispel all buffs on them. I'm just saying Darth Bane has a 2-layered AoE buff dispel. I don't want to bring him up here. During Bo-Katan Mandalor's turn, all light side Mandalorian allies gain speed up for 2 turns. You know what I'm saying? That like Bane's basic was like, holy crap, that's a lot. This is like, oh, okay. To be fair, I think Bane looks nutty because he's supposed to be mostly an offensive tool with Sith Eternal, or maybe Lord Vader as we speculated. Anyways, moving on. It's just God, they did her so dirty. They couldn't like just make Bane tomorrow, so or something, or Bane yesterday. I don't know. It sucks they're not giving her time to really shine. I'd be a lot more excited if Bane wasn't announced literally within minutes. All right, Darksaber Flourish, cooldown 3, Zeta ability. Man, I don't know if it's me. That Darksaber looks absolutely ginormous. Okay, anyways, moving on here. Deal physical damage to target enemy, inflict armor shred. They're kind of bringing at every person with an armor shred. Gideon, Sabine Wren, they just get an armor shred locked in. Deal additional instance of true damage to target enemy, which can't be evaded, but it gets a little bit more interesting, my friends. On top of that, you're gonna stun them for 1 turn. Okay, it doesn't say though it can be resisted. So, you got to keep that in the back of your mind here. If Bo-Katan Mandalor is debuffed, deal true damage an additional time to the target enemy, which can't be evaded. Otherwise, reduce the cooldown of this ability by 1. So there might be potential. Again, we have to wait and see what the damage looks like. There's a ton of true damage. Armor shreds kind of baked in here. It kind of feels like it might be Fennec-ish, where Fennec just does tons and tons and tons of damage on her basic ability. If they're gonna maybe turn this into a Lord Vader counter potentially, again, pure speculation, they want to make sure she's dealing out that type of damage. All right, moving on though. Reinforcements have arrived. Cooldown of 4. Okay, here's what we got. Deal physical damage to target enemy. Dispel all debuffs from all light side Mandalor and allies. Nice, right? That's good. That's good. We like that. Call them to assist twice, dealing 50% less damage, and they all gain 3 stacks of Incest Resolve, max of 100 until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And what that does, Incest Resolve gives you plus 2% defense. There's a ton of defense on this team. Bo-Katan looks like she is going to be beefy cakes, kind of again making it feel like you're going up against an army of individuals in Beskar armor. So I think that's really what they're trying to lean into, and kind of like Beskar Gideon, Dark Gideon. He's a pretty durable guy, and you get 1% max health whenever this character deals true damage, which is going to be great for Bo-Katan, Paz Vizsla, Beskar Mandalorian. Deal additional true damage based on the number of stacks, which can't be evaded. Whew, that sounds like a lot. Like, again, I think this is gonna be cool. It's just freaking Bane. I keep thinking of Bane. Like, I think Bane's cooler. I think Bane's cooler. This is still great. Being able to do constant true damage, it's gonna be nuts, especially when you consider Beskar Armor Mandalorian. I think Beskar and Mandalorian's Swift Takedown is gonna be huge of this. We'll remind you what it does. And here we go. Omicron's gentle reminder. This is supposed to be a Grand Arena design character. So this is why I should be a lot more excited. It just, again, Bane, freaking Bane. White side Mandalorian allies in Grand Arena with the Omicron gain additional 2 stacks of Incest Resolve. If another light side Mandalorian ally wasn't able to assist, they instead gain a bonus turn. So again, more Incest Resolve, additional true damage, Paz Vizsla, true damage, Bo, Beskar Armor Mandalorian. This sounds like you're gonna have explosive damage baked into this kit. Again, it sounds great. Like how we like Paz Vizsla, he keeps counterattacking, doing amazing damage. This is gonna be nuts at Paz. Again, don't be like me. Stop thinking of Bane right now. We're focusing on Bo. I'm telling that to myself right now. Unique ability for Mandalor! Omicron, tier 1. What it does here, true damage Bo-Katan Mandalor deals from Incest Resolve is tripled. I don't know if you know, but that's after 1 and 2. That's a lot of going on. So if I'm understanding this correctly, let's just keep it simple. If there was 3 stacks of Incest Resolve, instead of dealing additional true damage 3 times, it's 9 times. And I'm giving you a small number there. This could be huge. And again, this is why I think it's gonna be great against Kenobi. This is one of the reasons. Maybe even against Lord Vader type thing, just big explosive damage out there. And then this damage is then doubled against enemies with bonus protection. I think this right here makes me want to believe it's going to be very useful against Kenobi, but there's also one other thing. This is one of the elements, being able to get through that bonus protection, big explosive damage of Incest Resolve and all this stuff, triple damage from Bo-Katan, then it's doubled against enemies of bonus protection. So with the 3 example, 3 times 3 is 9, then double it 18. So you're going to deal true damage 18 times with that simple mathematics scenario. Yeah, again, this is still really cool. Stop thinking of Bane, Arnold. Stop thinking of Bane! If all allies were light side Mandalorians at the start of the battle, so again, Paz Vizsla, IG-12 and Grogu, Beskar Armor Mandalorian, and then armor, other Bo-Katan that we have here. Bo-Katan takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects. That's great. Damage over times aren't going to hurt him at all. And recovers 50% health whenever an ally is defeated for the first time. This really does seem like this should get through Lord Vader. It's like, oh man, I already got my bounty hunters. I think they want to make sure you're not incentivized to keep your Beskar Mando with Fennec. They're like, hey, there's a more consistent counter of Beskar Mando. Put them in the Mandalorians. I think that's why we're kind of getting a lot of this stuff here. Because one of the downsides of Fennec, damage over times are pretty much the biggest weakness to Fennec. You know, eventually, if she has like 20 on them, no one's cleansing it. She just falls apart here. And then moving on here, she gains 50% defense, stacking maximum of 200% for each debuff on her. And the biggest debuff heavy team truly is a Lord Vader lineup. Lots of days, lots of damage over time. So this sounds like this is going to be completely nutty. But guess what? Hold the phone for a second, my friends here. She's going to get another 200% defense stacking for each other light side Mandalorian ally who has not yet been defeated. So just from starting off the battle, she could have 800% defense. 800. I don't know if I can even count that high. That's a lot of numbers. 800 plus all that. So she hypothetically can have 1,000% defense. Holy cow. So that's why I have a hard time knowing she a tank, she supports, she attacker. They kind of missed that incredible detail, but she's got attacker attributes. Maybe she's just everything. Maybe that's why I didn't give it. She's got some support so she can cleanse, and then she's got this big damage so she's an attacker, but she's also really durable, so she's kind of like a tank. I don't know. So that was pretty big, but we're not done yet. Inside a Grand Arena, Bo-Katan Mandalor is immune to days. Oh, right there. Very anti-Lord Vader. That's kind of, again, they said she's going to go toe-to-toe with Galactic Legends. It seems like that's going to be very helpful there. If all allies were light side Mandalorians at the start of the battle, Bo-Katan ignores taunt effects. Do I need to list Master Kenobi, getting around General Kenobi, getting around Royal Guard, or whatever the case would be on a Lord Vader lineup? Whenever an ally is defeated for the first time, she gains 20% of their max health and offense stacking until the end of the battle. It does feel like, you know, Bane and Bo are having similarities where Bane can like supercharge him when other people are dying off on the team. Kind of feels a little similar. Maybe there's a rule of two with Mandalorians that we need to dive into a little bit more. So again, as folks are getting killed off, she gets incredibly more powerful and powerful and powerful and powerful. So we gotta wait and see what the damage actually looks like here. And then the lead ability, the way of the Mandalore, the Zeta, and the Omicron. Whew. Light side Mandalorian allies gain another 40% defense in case you needed more, on top of 1,000 defense. Max health, offense. Remember, there is tons of max health stuff going on with the rest of Mandalorians. IG-12 and Grogu, Paz Vizsla. You're going to get a ton of offense as well, which is, again, great for, Paz Vizsla, all the true damage stuff going on here. Light side Mandalorian allies gain 5% defense on top of the other defense we got. Gain 5% defense for each debuff on them. Again, that's completely separate from that Bo-Katan unique ability that we just looked at. So again, very durable team. Again, it's kind of cool. Mandalorians, they should have a lot of defense baked in. They're kind of packing some heat there. Whenever a light side Mandalorian ally deals true damage, dispels a debuff or resists a debuff, they gain 1 stack of Ancestral Resolve with a max of 100 stacks. I gave you guys a very simple calculation with just 3 stacks of Ancestral Resolve. If you can hype that to get to 100 really quickly, this is just going to have such explosive damage. Incredibly explosive damage. I'm going to remind you, literally 3 of the characters have true damage baked into their kits. And this is just the Ancestral Resolve and all the other stuff is going to be pretty nutty here. All right, moving on though. Whenever an ally attacks an enemy inflicted with armor shred, all light side Mandalorian allies allies taunt for 1 turn. So you get so whenever an ally attacks an enemy inflicted with armor shred, so Bo-Katan's gonna lead the charge. So you're gonna try to hit those armor shreds. You're gonna get Paz Vizsla to taunt. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of Paz. I love the guy. Paz the Chad. I've done a lot of stuff. I already took him with a Relic 9 because I had a ton of fun with him. He's a pretty deadly tank. If he gets his taunting up and he keeps counterattacking, it can be pretty brutal. And so with all this defense, the max health, constantly getting the taunt that he can do his true damage on the basic, it's no joke. And keep in mind, Paz Vizsla, when he dies, he does this big, like, explosive sacrifice thing. So, I am excited for this team. It's just, my mind is, I'm not gonna lie, I keep thinking of Bane, like, oh, well, Bane looked cooler. Anyways, they're both great, okay? They look great, at least. I have to wait and see until I get my hands on them. All right, let's wrap this up. While in Grand Arenas, light side Mandalorian allies gain 50% mastery, 50% health, and 30 speed. I called this out specifically. I didn't really take it to green SWGoH to figure this out, but I felt like IG-12 and Grogu was this close to being very usable pre-Bo. I haven't seen a lot of use out of IG-12 and Grogu. One of my biggest problems is they are fast, but not quite fast enough to push past the important thresholds that we need. Their ceiling was a little too low to get that big opening play. That 30 speed now on IG-12 and Grogu means Grogu's gonna be able to open up with a big play at the very beginning, calling people to assist. So I think that speed is going to be very nice for Grogu and just in general. Speed is one of those things we can never be in short supply of. At the start of each encounter, light side Mandalor and tank allies taunt for 2 turns. Those Paz Vizsla now pre-taunts. Pretty gnarly. If there are other active enemies, excluding summons, the first light side Mandalor and ally, I'm going to rewind. This, I think, is the biggest indicator. This is very anti-Master Kobe. If the bonus protection up thing didn't convince you, let me convince you here. Let's back it up a little bit. If there are other active enemies, excluding summons, the first light side Mandalorian ally that is defeated each battle is revived. Recovers 50% health and protection. Okay. I mean, do I need to spell it out for you? Come on. I know you guys are the same wavelength as me. We got our little antennas up. We're transmitting all this intel. Commander Tano yeets out someone in the very first second. Oh, LOL. They're just gonna revive again. So that that's one of the biggest things about Kenobi. If you have someone that kind of cheese the kill on Commander Tano, they lost one of their biggest weapons in their arsenal already. And then you gain one, and then they have to brute force their way through you with the damage. And as we see, it's gonna be hard to lay damage on this team when Bo is likely gonna do more damage up against you. Gain 1 additional stack of Incest Resolve whenever a light side Mandalorian ally deals true damage. I mean, dude, dispels a debuff, resists debuff. There is so much Ancestor Resolve. I kept the math very simple. 3. It's not going to be just 3. It's going to be 20, 30, 40, 50. And again, just a reminder, with that Ancestor Resolve, whenever this character deals true damage, deal an additional true damage based on the number of stacks, which can't be evaded. I want to just bring you over to Galaxy Heroes real quick, and I just want to remind you on a few important abilities in case, you know, we need a little bit of a reminder, because I don't blame you. When we take a look at, for example, Beskar Armor Mandalorian, what is the weakest ability with him by far? It's Discipline Setup. It's a disappointing ability, unfortunately. But things get a little bit different, because with this ability here, Mando, he deals, what does he do with this ability? When Mando takes his little poop stance, Mando is going to be doing some nice true damage with the Swift Takedown. Deal true damage to target enemy for each stack of Whistling Birds, which normally you can get up to 21, 20 plus 1. And this was just the biggest lackluster part. And that's why we criticized him, because his non-Beskar variant was so much better. Just insta-kill him. This really felt like it never did anything. This now should be a killer ability. I wouldn't be surprised if I can nuke out a whole team with this. So all of a sudden, this ability right here, which was the most important, it's not going to be that important for Mandalorians because he can't do this. It only works on Scoundrels. So now the focus goes in kind of a different direction, where Discipline Setup is going to be the way to go. So that's option number 1 with the Ancestral Resolve. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is obviously Paz Vizsla. Newer to Galaxy of Heroes, and we've been doing some funny stuff with him. I've been doing some cool stuff with him. Paz Vizsla. What's going on with him? Well, Paz, every single time he's using that basic ability, man, he's getting some nice, solid damage cooking on the enemy here. His Legacy of House Vizsla is going to really benefit from all the max health, all the defense. And again, this is even before we get the opportunities with Bo-Katan Mandalor. This isn't gonna be a joke. That Ancestor Resolve is gonna be a really big deal that we have. And don't forget about the sacrifice mechanic that we got going on here. So Paz Vizsla, that true damage is gonna be a really big thing with him as well. And then lastly, I just want to kind of bring up IG-12 and Grogu. Unfortunately, I was hoping to be a little bit more fun inside of non-Bo-Katan uses here. But nonetheless, the biggest problem with IG-12 and Grogu, it was just hard to make him hit certain thresholds. Ignore mods. I was doing the raid today. Please ignore it. Raids keep having me do remods. But anyways, this guy is fairly fast. But with the 30 extra speed, we can get bigger plays. And with this ability right here, he's going to call target ally to assist, inflict blind and daze on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. Dispel all buffs from enemies and stun target enemy for 1 turn. So with Grogu being a little faster, Paz being a lot thicker, pre-taunting, with Mandalorian, Beskar Armor Mando dealing a lot more damage with Swift Takedown, with all the true damage from Ancestor Resolve, this seems like it's shaping up to be a very good Grand Arena character. So ignore, just pretend with me for a moment Bane didn't come out today. I am still very excited about this character. Maybe not as much as Bane, even though I just said forget about it, but still I'm really excited to see, and I think it's obvious, at least to me, this should be a good Kenobi counter, even though Kenobi's already has So many counters. This year has not been a good year for Kenobi, with Reva and then Leia and a couple other things in between here and there, and now Bo-Katan. This is definitely the year we're kicking Kenobi in the nuts, and I think Bo-Katan's going to continue that trend, and I think it's also going to be helpful against other things like Lord Vader, and it makes sense because if we're taking away Beskar Mando, people are going to have a hesitant time giving this over to, Bo, if people want to use Fennec to beat Lord Vader. So we'll have to wait and see. So again, my guess is, my theory, tomorrow with the update dropping, I'm assuming the epic confrontation event will be in play. So stay tuned. Man, it's a big week. Definitely at first, we have two massive kit reveals within moments of one another. I'm not even going to ask you which one do you like more. It's probably going to be Bane, but I think they're both going to be amazing, and I can't wait to get my hands on both tomorrow. And unfortunately, we got to wait a couple more months before Bane is finally within our grasp. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And as always, it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire.